want to begin with all these blocked kicks that we saw again yesterday, and we've had so far through 4 weeks. Here are the numbers that I have. 15 blocked kicks on the year. We had 9 at this time last season. 11 field goals have been blocked, and 4 punts have been blocked. Do you have any theory as to why this is happening and if it will continue?
Yeah, I got 2 theories. The first one relates to, and yeah, my records, I'm showing that this is the most blocked kicks through week 4 that we have had since at least 2000. And there's still 2 games left to be played in terms of field goals, extra points, etc. I think teams, in studying how to slow down the Eagles' tush push, have started focusing more on what the snapper is doing with the ball and when they're moving it. And after the game with the Raiders and the Bears were telling the media that their own long snapper studied the long snapper of the Raiders, and every time before he was about to snap it, he would turn the ball just a little bit. And so they got that tell, and they were able to jump it a little bit a couple times earlier, almost blocked it, and finally got it on this last one. So the centers and the long snappers specifically have to figure out ways to get less predictable with what they're doing. But the other big thing I found, guys, this is my speculation, is that we are seeing the kickers now being able to prep the footballs that they use, the K balls, longer time. That's why they're able to kick from deeper, because these balls are more worn in by the time they get to go out there. They're not just like plastic balls, like some of these harder balls that they were kicking previously. Well, one of the issues is now they feel so good about their range, their distance, that they are only really focused on accuracy. And when you're thinking along those lines, think about it when you're standing back there behind the holder. You are going up and walking up to the football a little bit slower because you're mainly focused on accuracy, not so much power. You don't need to go as quick in your run up to the kick because you're going quicker when you need to get more power. They feel good about their power. They're worried about their accuracy. Well, now the issue is that progression is a little bit slower than what it's been in years past. And all that matters is a fraction of a second. How many times have we seen kicks last year, the year before, where there's somebody about to block it, but he's just barely a split second late and still goes through? Now some of those kicks are getting blocked because there's just a fraction of a second slower with the run up. So I think that there needs to be a little bit of improvement on the long snapper and a little bit of improvement on these kickers as they make the run up. If they're going to be as slow and as patient because all they're worried about is accuracy, they need to begin a little bit sooner, their process a little bit sooner after the snap occurs. But the offense needs to figure this out on the special team side of the ball. The defense has done their work. They've blocked some of these. They've figured out some tells and other strategies. Now it's on the offense to make some corrections, and those are a couple of things I think they could do.
We got to respect the Eagles. They're the champs. This is incredible. They've won 20 of their last 21. But this is wild, not sustainable. How they doing this? Down 19 in the third quarter, they win. 200 yards, win. Don't complete a pass in the second half, win. You know, when the big four play and are healthy, they haven't lost since week 2 last year of Monday night against Atlanta. But what do you think about what Philly's doing here to be 4-0 and what's not happening with the offense?
Yeah, exactly. There's no formula for success here. Everything, they have to figure out something new every single game. This is a team that's just coming up with ways to win, but they're not actually very good offensively. Here are some stats. They're averaging just 3.5 yards per carry on the ground offensively. That's number 29. Their passing offense ranks number 25 in success rate. They rank 29th in distance to go on third down and third down avoidance. They are number 1 defensively in the red zone, and they are number 2 offensively in the red zone. And that pretty much is what is saving them, aside from some of these other things like turnovers, like blocked kicks. Like you mentioned, they were going to lose to the Rams despite being down big in the first half. Then they block a couple of kicks, end up winning that game. They're up big. They block a punt last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're just not a good offense right now, but this is a testament to how well this team is built, because they have enough players and enough depth that they know the more plays that are on the field, the more frequently they're going to have something go their way, even if it's not sustainable. I view this as actually a good thing for their future. Yeah, they probably should have lost at least one game at this point in time, and they're undefeated. But they're able to work through these issues, and they're going to be a lot better later on in the season as a result of it. They can't be much more worse than they are right now. Number 29 in rushing, passing, third down distance to go. That red zone efficiency will regress, but I expect some of their other markers where they're bottom 5 in the NFL to improve to try to help save this team in the future. But it's definitely a hard team to beat. You got to kill them twice. You can't just try to kill them once. They got another life in them, basically.
Yeah, well said. And potentially scary if they get all this stuff, if and when they get that all corrected. I watched a lot of the Jacksonville Niners game yesterday. I thought they looked pretty good. Like, I think they got some dudes on defense. Look, like you, I'm not the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan of the planet at all, but they're 3-1. Nice win yesterday on the road against San Francisco. What did you notice from them? What have you noticed through 4 games? And do you think they're good?
Well, I don't know if they're good. They're much improved defensively from what they have been in years past. But the biggest thing, like I expected a little bit more out of this offense with Liam Cohen. But hey, they're getting these wins. But where they're really making a punching chances, those punch outs defensively with the fumbles created. So I went back and looked at stats through the first 4 weeks, and we are seeing the lowest rate of interceptions that we have seen in the NFL since at least 2000. But what we are seeing is that turnovers are making a bigger difference in terms of wins and losses than we've seen in the past. And specifically, if you look at, where's the stat here? Teams winning the turnover battle this year are 37-5. That's 88%, the best mark through week 4 since 2000.
Wow.
Teams with a positive fumble differential loss are 21-2-1 on the season if they don't lose the turnover battle on interceptions. The Jacksonville Jaguars are one of the best teams in the NFL at getting in there. They've really emphasized it this year, trying to punch the ball on some of these tackles. Their net turnover EPA is number 2 in the NFL. They've got the four opponent fumble recoveries, second most only to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I went back and looked at the first 4 weeks of the season here. There are 9 teams that have forced at least 5 fumbles this year from their opponents. Only one of those 9 has a losing record. That's the Las Vegas Raiders. 6 of the 9 are either 4-0 or 3-1. So yes, interceptions are down. Quarterbacks are being a little bit more careful. They're throwing it shorter. It's hard to get interceptions. You got to figure out a different way to get those turnovers, and you got to go and be a little bit more aggressive defensively, trying to strip the ball out, punch the ball out, get those fumbles out, because that is really making a difference for teams winning games this year.
How about a prop you like in the late game with Denver and Cincinnati?
I'm going back to Chase Brown. I'm not going back to him, but he's a running back going up against the Denver Broncos. And so I'm going back to that situation. I like his receiving yards over 18.5 right now in a lot of books, although I still see several books out there that have 16.5. So shop around, see what you can get on that one. But Chase Brown, look, this team is going to be under pressure a lot. The Denver Broncos have the number 2 highest blitz rate, the number 2 highest pressure rate. And running back passes against the Denver Broncos have had a lot of success. They average the highest yards per attempt of any defense out there is running back passes against this Denver Broncos defense. Quarterbacks have to get rid of the ball. They have to do something, and the Denver Broncos are really good defending perimeter receivers. They're good defending tight ends. They're not so good defending running backs in the passing game. I think Chase Brown will struggle on the ground here against the Denver Broncos run defense, but the way that they can offset that is by throwing him the football a little bit more out of the backfield, and I think he can hit this low number.
Very good. That's a great observation, because I saw it as high as 21.5 earlier today, but you're right. There are plenty of 16.5s out there right now. Brown to go over. Terrific stuff as always, Warren. Thanks so much for the time. Best of luck.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.